Welcome to this episode of the podcast, The Centerville Business Beat, produced by Tri-Level Productions. The Centerville Business Beat is a fun and interesting conversation with area businesses about the challenges and successes of serving the Centerville, Ohio community. Here's your host and producer, Terry O'Brien.
Guess what? It's that time again. We're here for another fun-filled episode of the Centerville Business Beat, brought to you by the Heart of Centerville. Today we have a special guest of honor. Nicole, I gotta warn you, your microphone's way over there, you're over here. You need to bring that microphone this way.
There we go.
A little closer.
A little
there you go. Okay. Nicole Baker from Anchored Custom Designs, correct?
That's right. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. My first question, and always my first question, what the heck is Anchored Custom Designs?
So it's morphed over the years. Now I think we've kind of settled into what we really do, which is making custom products. And when I say custom products, so an example, I had a customer reach out to me and say, I'm doing a girls' weekend. Can you make us all matching tumblers? Because the 40-ounce Stanley type tumblers, they're very popular.
You mean the big tumblers that people walk around, they're like this big?
Yeah, it looks like you're carrying around like an entire jug of water, basically.
And they want a custom one?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
So I made a design for them, and they're like, oh, can you put our names on it? And it kind of morphed into this, and I made a whole bunch of cups for them, and they were thrilled. And then just curious, what was on the design? It was just like colorful snowflakes. It was a winter retreat for a girls' weekend. Did it have like custom wording where it says Ashley's winter to retreat or something like that? Or oddly enough, they didn't want anything like that. They just wanted, I think they wanted to be able to like use it more down road without
But you could have done that.
Oh, I could totally do that.
Okay.
I mean, my husband always jokes that we literally can put anything on a cup, an earring, a mug, a picture, a design, whatever your brain can come up with, we can put on products.
And so tell me the length of products that you have. Tell me what kind of products you actually create custom versions of. What you do, tumblers, we just heard that. What else?
So my biggest thing is earrings.
I can't believe it. You make custom earrings.
I do. And interesting shaped earrings. Like I'm doing a fundraiser right now for a local high school, and I did earrings in the shape of instruments for a marching band. So, and the great thing is you have to limit how many characters and stuff you can put on it, but the kids get to choose what they want funny sayings they want to put on the earrings. Right. They can put their school logo. I wasn't able to do all the instruments because some of them are pretty tiny and intricate, and my laser would just, they would break.
So how many different instruments do you think you did?
I think I did 5 total.
And it says, I think I saw them on the website, Fairmont West, or Fairmont Marching Band. Uh-huh. Fairmont West, that shows you how old I am. Fairmont Marching Band. And so this was, then the kids would take these earrings out and sell them?
No, actually, I'm doing all the sales for them. They're just like a spirit wear thing they can wear for band.
Oh, okay. So I thought maybe the kids were actually going door to door saying, would you like to support our band, buy our earrings, and then they kind of charge a price for it?
Oh, yeah. That is usually how fundraisers are done. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
But no, this has been more like the boosters are the ones that coordinated this. They're music boosters.
Oh, all right. So you made all the, and just idea, a rough idea, how many earrings did you create?
Well, I'm still in the middle of it, so I'm like probably at about 50 pair right now.
So this isn't a secret. We're not telling this.
Oh, no. No, honestly, more promotion is better for any school fundraiser or anything, right? So.
Okay. So you do custom earrings, custom tumblers. What else is in your lineup?
So we've been expanding the stuff we've been doing. I found some really neat new stuff. So I actually have a friend testing out a stadium seat.
You mean the things you go to football games, you sit on their cushions?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are good.
So I'm hoping to be able to expand into that because a lot of parents, those bleachers are mean to younger people. The older you get, the more those are horrible on your back and everything. So
you're just not reselling somebody else's stuff, right? You actually have the laser cutters, the dye sublimation printers, where in your house, you're creating these things in a very unique way, and this is what you do. You're creating them. You're actually making them.
Yes, I'm trying to put my own spin on dye sublimation and make unique things that people may have not necessarily thought of that they need.
So you must be relatively good in the graphics world of creating like the little logos that goes on things, right?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
There's definitely a learning curve with it.
Sure.
I actually just switched over from some basic design software I was using that went with like an old cutting machine to Affinity. So I'm learning that software.
Give me an idea what old cutting machine is.
So like were you familiar with like Crickets and
Oh, sure.
stuff like that?
You go to not Home Depot, that home place. And
Yeah, you can get them like everywhere at like Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
and
Hobby
stuff
Lobby,
like that.
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Very popular, the vinyl cutting. That's actually how I started doing all of this crafting stuff, and then morphed into dye sublimation. But my cutting machine is a Silhouette Cameo, and the software I was using, they use, and I still do use that for some things because I've been using it for 3 years, so I know what works. And
It's not easy to do what you do, because I spent some time at the library learning some of these things and filming some of these things. It's relatively complex to get used to using all this stuff and making it work right.
Yeah, there is a huge learning curve with it. And, there are days I think, oh, I've got this down. And then one of my machines humble me with that.
Yeah.
So
do you have a room in your house, or is it in your garage? Where is it at?
So our house has like a formal living room and then a family room in our basement. So I took over the formal living room just inside the door. And I actually just took over the dining room too, because I needed to expand my space between my laser cutter and heat presses and sublimation oven and my printers. All those things take up so much space.
Oh my God, yeah, I could imagine.
So
you're really an entrepreneurial. I mean, you are like, you don't have a brick and mortar place you walk into. You're out of your house. You're selling online.
Yes.
And you're selling at events.
Yes.
Okay. And you told me earlier that it's about a 50-50 split, correct?
Yeah, I think about right now. It's eventually, I would like to get it to be more online, but we need to get the word out to people so they understand what we do, because I can hear myself saying, oh, we do custom products. I don't know what that means.
Right.
Like it's hard to convey that.
Sure. Yeah. So all right. So we have stadium seats. What else is in the lineup of things? You have tumblers, earrings, stadium seats. What else you have out there that you're kind of doing as a?
So we're also doing this new thing. It's a catch-all tray.
A what?
So, when you come home and you're like, where do I put my keys? Where do I put my wallet? It's like actually a constant argument with my husband. Can you just put all your stuff in one place? So that's actually where I found this, was trying to figure out something. Well, maybe I'll just make something for home. Well, one of my suppliers started offering these trays as an option, and I made him one, and they're great. They fold flat when you don't need them. They snap together.
Now you make these trays?
I buy the blanks made, and then I sublimate on them.
So you put a logo or something on them, but you can make custom versions of that.
Yeah.
So if you want to say Terry's Crap, it would say there.
Yes, I could do that.
Okay, I might have you do that.
That's actually what my husband wanted his to say, was Seth's Crap. But
So Anchored Custom Designs has been around for how long?
So we've been doing this for 3 years. We've actually been selling stuff for about 2. The first year was just learning, and because I'm sure you've probably dealt with this. E-commerce it's huge, and trying to learn how to navigate it is difficult. So we spent that time getting our website established.
And you're using Shopify, correct?
Yes.
And that's a great web platform for people like you who are selling items and want that e-commerce back end.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
It's great. All the shipping and everything is all integrated, so I'm not
Right.
having to do multiple websites to do everything.
Right. Yeah, that's great. So, and when did your website go live?
Our website went live 3 years ago. It was pretty much it wasn't an e-commerce site yet. It was just more to get the domain before anybody else stole it, kind of a thing, to earmark it.
All right. And why Anchored? What's so special about? Oh, your husband's a sailor. Was in the Navy.
We actually both were.
You were in the Navy?
I was in the Navy for 10 years. We're both veterans.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. I got out in 2010, and my husband stayed in. He just retired in 2021.
Okay.
So he made it to the rank of Chief Petty Officer, which is a huge accomplishment in the Navy, and everything that surrounds that uses an anchor as a symbol. And it's become kind of like our symbol as a family too, that, you know, he always said that our family was his anchor when he deployed.
Yep.
And spent so much time away from us. So it just seemed like that was that something with our business needed to be based around an anchor.
I mean, it's kind of cool because you can use that term anchored in 1,000 different ways, but it actually means something in the nautical sense to you. So
It does.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And custom designs actually is anchored custom design. So the custom design is all those unique things that you're doing.
Yes.
So now I understand. See, I'm not as smart as you think I am. It takes me a while to catch up.
No, it's fine. You know, honestly, it's like I said, I hear myself, and if I try to imagine myself on the other side as a customer, so I can explain what we do and get that across to people, because once they do, they're like, oh, can I, you know, they start thinking of things.
Right.
But custom designs, but when you hear it, you're like, is that like home design, or it could be lots of things.
So when you started the business, was it it just kind of happened because somebody asked you to do something, you did it, and you said somebody else asked you to do something? Or was it deliberately you sat down and said, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to do the following things?
So I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. That's been my dream, honestly. That's great because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I got out of the Navy so I could be home with my kids.
Yeah.
But I also like having a career and having a purpose in life. I think it's important for my kids to see that,
right.
You know, to see a driven parent. So I didn't know what that was going to be but I've always been very crafty and enjoyed doing crafts.
Yeah, you got to be creative to do what you're doing.
I think so. And most days I consider myself creative. It just depends, you know, on the day, how frustrated I am with the design I'm doing. But, no, I started out doing vinyl cutting and stuff and had people asking me for that. And then I found out about sublimation and I told my husband, I'm like, well, this is really neat, and explaining. And we got one small printer and one small press, and it just morphed from there into...
So for fun, for the folks listening out there, explain what dye sublimation printing actually is. It's not like a laser printer where you're printing documents.
Right.
Explain kind of what it does and how it works, if you could.
So I have, actually, all of my printers are converted Epsons.
Really?
Epson Eco Tanks. It's a way more economical way of creating a sublimation printer than like a traditional.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not cheap.
Oh, they're not. And I was that was daunting in and of itself. I'm like looking at spending thousands of dollars on a printer. It's like, you know, but I was able to do it for a lot less. So when you walk up to my printer, it just looks like a regular old Epson printer, but the ink is different.
Right, it has to be.
Yeah, and the paper is also different. So it's coated, so it absorbs the ink and holds on to it. So then when I apply it to whatever, say I'm putting it on a cup.
Right.
I put it on a cup and tape it down really tight because that has to be very close to the substrate. And then I take that and I have a press that squeezes around it and heats the whole thing.
The heating is where it transfers that image over to the object, right?
Yes.
That's the key. That's what the beauty of that is. So it's hard to scratch off and...
Yes, it actually becomes part of the substrate. So you can't actually feel the design on the outside. It's still very glossy, just like the cup looked before he did it. So
just curious, so somebody wants to know, how long does it take to make a cup? So if I was to take this cup full of tea, diet tea, and wanted to put something on it, how long would it take you to do that?
So the cup would have to have the special coating on it. So like I have something like that.
Right.
But a lot of it depends on the design. So depending on how, like if I had a pre-made design that I could cut and print, like 10, 15 minutes from beginning to end.
Okay. Well, so once you get the little factory going, I imagine it kind of goes a little faster in every one you do.
Absolutely. And I'm getting faster at it. It used to take me a lot longer because I didn't know where I needed to pull the tape tighter and, you know, all the tricks to the trade that I've learned over the years.
Okay. So obviously there is no limit to what you can do. It sounds like you're just starting here, but if we talk to you a year from now, you may be doing all kinds of other products in your line. And
that's my hope, honestly, to continuously expand. I found a couple new suppliers this year that have some really great new things. Yeah. So I'm hoping to expand into like beer steins and books and like all kinds of stuff. Like I can technically do t-shirts, but the t-shirts are about the only thing that limits me because my printer does not print white toner.
Yeah, if you print on a white T-shirt, you can just leave it blank. But yeah. So, I'm in a band called the Milos, and we buy T-shirts from Vistaprint.
Right.
And I think I'm getting them for like $9 printed because I'm buying 100 at a time.
Right.
So, because you're doing kind of one-offs, I would imagine on T-shirts that's a little bit more expensive to do.
It is. I do bulk orders too. 2 years ago, I did a band fundraiser and did t-shirts, and I did 200 t-shirts for a band. So I do bulk discounts for if it's a repeatable design and I'm not doing individual design work for each thing, then it's much easier for me to accomplish.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the challenges you faced as a woman-owned business. That's correct. This house marketed on your website.
Yes.
When you started this thing up, what were the challenges that you came across that you didn't expect?
How much time it was going to take, because I do everything. I do our website, social media, production, ordering, taxes, everything. It's very involved.
It's not an 8 to 5 job.
It isn't, and I think I imagined myself, going into my room when the kids went off to school and then being ready for them when they got home from school. And that's not always the reality, depending on how many orders I have pending or if it's tax time or.
Right. And so knowing that now, would you have done it? Knowing how much time it's going to take, would you have done it?
Absolutely, I would still do it. I love hard work. I've never shied away from it. I find it very rewarding.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things about being in the military. So I like the hard work. So it's just finding everybody struggles with this work-life balance.
Okay.
And you probably understand this too. When you work at home, it's hard to put that boundary in place. It's like after dinner, I'm just going to go do one more thing.
It does happen a lot.
So it's a struggle to put that boundary in place for yourself so you have some free time too. So,
all right, any other challenges that might be noteworthy for the heart of Centerville folks out there listening?
Honestly, not that I can think of right now. I know I've had many challenges.
Right.
But I think that just being a one-woman show is, and I do have support. My husband and my kids are my biggest champions. They really are. They are very supportive.
So if we were to push this a little bit from a marketing point of view, how are you finding your clients?
Honestly, the best contacts I've had have been at the Heart of Centerville vendor events that we've had.
Let's talk about that. Which events do you think you found the most clients? Was it the Fall Fest? Was it the merchant market, or the party in the parks? What do you think? Are they all good?
They're all good, but Fall Fest was by far our most successful event with that. The number of contacts I made. I think I gave out 200 to 300 business cards that day, people that were interested.
Yeah.
And I got about a 10%
10%
return of customers that got on our website and called or ordered.
So that means
stuff,
30 people came by and knocked on your door and said, let me learn a little bit more now that we're not standing in the sun in a field, right? And that's fantastic. That's really good numbers.
Yeah, I was pleased, and that by far was our most successful event, but I've always at least gotten one.
And are you doing any reaching out yourself where you're calling Centerville High School and say, hey, we do fundraiser, or we can do this for fundraisers? Are you trying to reach out to anybody, or are you just waiting for them to come to you?
Right now, I'm waiting for them to come to me. Everything I've done has been very organic.
Yeah.
I need to push things out more, and that is something I'm working on. I actually have a degree in marketing.
Really?
Honestly,
yeah. Where'd you go to school?
American Military University.
Oh, cool.
So
that's great.
Used my GI Bill when I got out and got my bachelor's degree, and
that GI Bill is an amazing thing.
Oh my gosh, it was worth. Lots of things were worth my service.
Yeah.
But getting to get my degree for free, you can't beat.
So social media, Facebook posts, Facebook ads, because that's right up your alley, right?
It is.
You're trying to reach the Etsy kind of crowd.
Exactly.
Are you on Etsy?
I'm not. Originally, that was what I was planning on, but they expanded a lot of their fees and everything, and I've looked at some other crafters that I know, and they've had to raise their prices just to compete with that. because Etsy takes such a large portion of your sales.
Do they?
So
give me a
they
rough
do.
idea. How much do they take?
I don't even remember anymore, but I was gonna. So most of my earrings I sell for $5.
That's cheap.
A pair.
Again, well, I talked to her. That's way too cheap. So we're going to edit that out. So most of you sell for $5.
Yes.
And that's two earrings, not just one.
Yes, and honestly, that's funny because that's what my husband says when he's out. He is very vocal, and if you're ever at an event, you'll know where our tent is from about 50 feet away because he is always out. Hey, come see our earrings. It's $5 a pair, not for one earring. He's a really funny guy.
So if you're making earrings for an event like the Fall Fest, what are the popular ones? Are they sunflowers? What's on the earrings, and how do you come up with those designs?
So I kind of just make stuff up on the fly. I honestly, I think I do like to look at the trends and see what's trendy nowadays and
right.
stuff. So like right now I'm doing all of my Halloween. I actually started doing some Christmas stuff this week.
Oh yeah, Fall Fest is coming up.
So, and that was a big mistake I made last year. I had no Christmas stuff. I couldn't believe how many people were already on the lookout for that.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely am going to have a large Christmas selection.
You think you're going to do the holiday walk, which is a great, that's the Heart event, Heart in the City event, Heart City in the Township event.
Yes.
And we're not exactly sure where the vendors will be just yet, but if you have Christmas stuff, boy, that's the place to have it.
We did it last year, and it was very successful, and it was a really fun event too. I am a big Christmas person, so getting to listen to Christmas music and and get to sell my stuff, it was a really fun day.
All right, so you go to these events, you sell a lot of product, you meet a lot of new clients, so things are trending upwards for you, correct?
Definitely.
And you think 2 years from now, where do you think you'll be? If you're, let's just say you're here, do you think you'll be doubled by then? 2 years by now, are you on a trend that's?
We're actually, and I'm going to knock on wood before I say this.
That's fake, by the way.
Oh, damn.
No,
this will work.
I'm just kidding.
We're on. If we keep on the current track based on our last 2 years, we should triple our sales this year from last year.
Wow, that's great.
So, again, knock on wood. Things happen, but
yeah, well, so this podcast will help you push out there. We're going to obviously the video will add some graphics to it as we talk about certain things. What else do people should know about you? I didn't know you were in the Navy, so what else should they know about you?
I do need to talk about being a veteran more. I've been out for 14 years now, so it's kind of...
It doesn't matter. You're a veteran the rest of your life.
Oh, it's not in the forefront of my mind like it used to be. That's actually where my husband and I met when we were in the Navy together.
Oh.
So.
On a boat?
No,
a
we
ship?
were in,
I'm going to call a ship.
Yeah. Well, I guess they call submarines boats. I've always been corrected. My husband was on submarines, so
really?
They call them boats. Yeah, they all float in the water, so that's what I feel like he's...
So he's on a submarine, you were on land?
I was on a surface ship. Well,
yeah.
I was on many surface ships. The job I went to different ones, so
okay.
I wasn't on the same one all the time. But
well, that's fantastic. So you were a veteran. Anything else we should know? You live in Washington Township.
Yep, I am a mom to 3 amazing kids.
Okay.
19, 12, and 6.
19, 12. What a fun age that would be.
Yeah, my kids are all in different stages of their lives. My oldest is starting college this fall.
Where's you going?
She's going to Sinclair.
Perfect. I love that school.
Yeah, she's very gifted with languages, so that's what she wants to do. Is she wants to be a linguist.
Wow, that's impressive.
So my middle daughter is in 7th grade, and then my youngest is in 1st.
All right, so as we wind this podcast down, what is it about the Heart of Centerville that you like being involved with? Why did you become a member, and what's been the benefit to you of being a member?
So originally I did it, because it was a great way to connect with people, and their vendor events were well known.
Well, how'd you find out about it?
Random Facebook post I came across. It was recommended to me, Heart of Centerville, because I'd been searching for vendor events on Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
So their algorithm, they were like, hey, you might be interested in that. And then it just kind of went from there. But I've stayed for the people. I don't know. It is that they're a bunch of amazing people.
All right, so you love the events. You take advantage of the events.
Yes.
Okay. And you tend to like Fall Fest the best.
Yes.
I guess Fall Fest is one of the more attended events. I mean, they're all attended from where we started 4 or 5 years ago to now, it's night and day. And I'm giving Jessica a lot of credit for that because Jessica really took this thing to a whole different level.
She is so gifted with social media and everything. She's
that's who you really need to talk
seriously.
to. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be it for this podcast. Again, this is the Centerville Business Beat. We've had
Nicole Baker at Anchor Custom Designs.
All right, Nicole Baker from Anchor Custom Designs here with us, and I'm Terry O'Brien, your producer. We'll see you again on the next version of the Centerville Business Beat, sponsored by the Heart of Centerville. Thank you.